Welcome to the Magnetic Leadership Podcast by educator Dave Johnson.
Good morning, everyone. And we've got the distinct pleasure of having our CEO, Neil Roth, and also Deidre Thornton. She's a friend that I met, and actually Valerie and I got to go to her clinic up in Montana and try a lot of her different products. Now, one of the things I like about Deidre is she's just really experienced. She's got over 20 years as a colonic hydrotherapist. And maybe to kick this off, though, Avini Health, if you're not familiar with it, we got some of the most wonderful products, and it's changed my whole life, Avini Health. And we're going to be talking about something that I think is just really hitting the national consciousness right now, and that's just this awareness and wow, taking charge of our own health. And in Avini, we do not prescribe, treat, diagnose, all of those sorts of things. And the thing I love about the Avini products is it's all upside, no downside. We don't have big side effects printed on everything. And the thing I really am excited about, if you are a health enthusiast, you're probably aware of silver. You probably got several bottles in your cupboard. But what we've discovered is not all silver is created equal. And as you research, what I believe what we have is Avini Nano Safe Silver. I think of it as the Goldilocks. It's something you can use everywhere. It can do all kinds of things with it. But the thing I love about it is everything to do with silver is about size and shape of the particle. So often colloidal silver, it's irregular, unpredictable as far as the shape and size. If it's too big, it can get stuck in the body. And to the point, if you keep using it, you can actually change your color. That's not a desirable thing. If it's too small or ionic, then it can get into places that it shouldn't and create biological havoc. What we have is something that is actually, if you do research, the ideal size seems to be about 7 nanometers. However, that's extremely unstable. It's hard to get that and keep that. And we found that from personal experience with Avini, putting this all together. And what Avini Safe Silver is something that's really specially engineered. And if you think about nano, one of the things that comes to mind is how can you wrap your head around that? I look that up, and not only is it a billionth of a meter, that's infinitesimal. Like as an example, a fingernail grows about 1 nanometer per second. That's teensy tiny. And what's fun is if you think about silver, the smaller it gets, the more surface area. So as an example, if you had a silver dollar and you could slice it in half, essentially the surface area would be about the same, but it'd be half the silver. What if you could do that one more time? It'd be fourth the amount of silver, but essentially the surface area would remain the same. What if you could do that 1,000,000 times? It's hard to think about that, but the surface area goes up just staggeringly when you have something that's down into atomic sizes. When I say nano silver, 7 nanometers is a little ball of silver that's only about 200 atoms. And so it can dissolute and be very unstable. But we found a way to put a skin on that of silver oxide. So it's very shelf stable and it just stays like that. And the importance of it is famously, all the research shows that bad things don't like silver. And this shape and this stability, it gives it a lot of contact points. It just really opens up the possibilities of it to interact with things that we don't want to have. Also, what's really cool is it's small enough to interact with all those things, but not so small that it gets inside cells or does different things like that. But think about that. One drop of this stuff has about 1 trillion little silver balls. But let's talk about Deidre Thornton now. Deidre Thornton is a pioneer in Avini, and she's not just entering a new country, but a whole new world. And when you start looking at health, every one of us, inside of us, is a whole world of living things. Some of those are good, some of them not so much. And Deirdre is discovering just some amazing things about specifically our silver, how to use it, and her background of interacting with people, cleaning things out of them. So I'm just going to turn it over to Deirdre. And you've got some exciting things to tell people. So let's hear what you're doing.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you for your explanation about the silver, because I'm going to talk about it. And at some point, Dave's going to show you one of my discoveries in my investigation about the silver. And I have a lot of clients, and I'm 76. So I basically have been doing this for 20 years. And so I have a viewing tube on my Colonic machine, and I see things in there, and I've seen things in there for 20 years. But what's happening lately is, in the beginning of Avini, I saw things that I had seen before, but I saw more of them. Now I've made a discovery that I'm seeing things that I've never seen before, and they look as if they could have been alive at some point. But because of the viewing tube, you can stop the machine and look at it and take pictures. And so I've been doing that. And I have a client that has been with me for 5 years. She's traveled the world. She lives here and in California. And over 5 years, every summer, she comes and cleanses with me, and we become very good friends. She has had a health condition that has followed her around. She's been to every natural doctor, every medical doctor. She's been to psychics trying to figure out why she is so bloated. She looks pregnant, and she has rosacea really bad. And those two conditions many times do accompany invasions of pathogens that, if you got rid of them, things go back to normal. So one of the things I'm very interested in is just cleaning the body out, because the body is so programmed to heal itself of anything. But when it's congested, then it can't do it. And so we have all these energy systems in the body. For instance, when the astronauts came back from the moon, their energy systems in their body were so depleted, it was life-threatening. And they invented a machine that stimulates the flow of energy in the organs. And of course, that helps us, and they regain their health. When the body gets congested, these energy systems in the body slow down, and the body is cleaning itself, because if it didn't, you'd be dead, but it's doing it too slowly. And when she came to me this summer for her cleanse, she walked in the door, and I just felt so bad. She just looked bad. And I said to her, I am so sick of this. I am just sick of this. I want you to take this silver, and I want you to drink a bottle a day for 3 days. And I want you to come in for a colonic, and I want to see what kind of thing or things I am dealing with. I have to see what it is. So she did it. She came in for a colonic, and what came out of her was very startling. And she looked at it and she said, well, it didn't really hurt me to do this. And doesn't sound like, with the science we understand about this, it's be the most harmless cleanse I could ever do. I'm doing 3 more bottles, so I'll come back in. She did 3 more bottles, came back in, saw the same kind of garbage. She said, I'm doing 3 more. Okay. So she did 3 more, on and on. And she's finally, after a lot, is getting way better. So then I started to tell some of my other clients, and it has a great nature. And she said to me, I do understand, Deirdre, that you are experimenting on me. But she said, I understand, and I see this product and it's not hurting me. So let's just experiment, because I had got nothing else. She has traveled the world. She does deep sea diving. So what is it? Nobody can seem to find out what it is. But whatever it is, diminishing quickly. I started to tell some of my other clients, and I told a health practitioner that's in my business, and she comes to me, and she did it to herself, came in, same situation, got out something we'd never seen before, was large enough to take a picture. So she said, okay, so we all have clients that Avini has helped tremendously with. Over 50% of their problem has seemed to gone away. But there's some clients that's stubborn, and you can't get over 50%. But then we started to use the silver in larger amounts, and lo and behold, we start to see them get better. They are ecstatic about it, because they worked at it for years, and you've worked at it with them for years. And
I just put the picture up. Can you
so,
see?
yeah, the question is, when you see this picture, is what is that?
It doesn't look like something I'd want to have in me.
No. And what kind of health complications coincide with this? And it seems to me when I see these big things that there are several health complications. Now, whether or not these pathogens are microscopic or this large, there are many pathogens that simply wear out our body. And what we want to do is we want to free ourselves from these so the natural processes in the body, the natural healing systems in the body, the natural cleansing systems in the body can work. And when we find ourselves full of this kind of stuff, it's almost like we're clogged and the natural systems of the body can't do their work.
If I could say something real quick, looking at this monster here, it reminds me of Chip Littlejohn, and he doesn't tell people to drink bottles of it, but he does tell people to take this stuff. And he had somebody come to him and says, "I'm going to quit taking this stuff because I looked in the toilet and there was some creepy stuff." And then Chip had the perfect answer. He says, "Looking at that, is there anything in there that you'd want to have back in you?" And so I'm thinking, boy, if I had this, I'd be really glad that it was out of me. So anyway, let's quit looking at that.
Okay, the other thing I want to touch on just a little bit are microscopic things. And the reason I want to touch on it is because it's very close to home for me. 10 years ago, my daughter got iritis, and it's a kind of a scary thing to have because it doesn't go away. It comes back from time to time. It couldn't lead to blindness. It was in her eye. And I was out to dinner. I was at a microscope training, and one of the girls' husband was there. And I said, "What do you do for a living?" And he said, "I'm a head of a hospital. I'm head of everything to do with eyes in a huge hospital." And I said, "Have you ever thought maybe iritis has something to do with cats? Because my daughter got 2 cats and then she got this." And he said, "It's so funny you should ask me because we're studying that right now." So anyway, I went into a deep dive on that. And recently I went into another deep dive on it because if you ever hear me talk, I talk about a parasite called toxoplasmosis, which is one of the 3 leading microscopic parasites worldwide that plague mankind and cause all kinds of things. So anyway,
Is that the reason why they tell pregnant ladies to stay away from cat litter? And
that particular parasite can cause you to have a miscarriage. So think about that microscopic parasite that can decide that its host has been invaded and gets rid of it. So it's a scary thought, right? So anyway, as I studied this and I studied my daughter, her eye situation, all the products in Avini got her better on many levels and got that eye better, but it wasn't gone. Okay. Would never break out as bad as it used to, but it would, she'd feel it coming on. And so when I realized how potent our silver was and how safe it was, she decided to start consuming it by the bottle. The first thing that happened is she would feel this tugging in her eye, and it was in the back of her eye. What is that tugging? I have no idea. But after being on it, the tugging got less and less. Finally, she said to me after several weeks of drinking quite a lot, she said, "Mom, I have not felt this good in 30 years. And she said that particular pathogen had moved to my guts and I could control it, but I couldn't get rid of it." So there's a lot of different pathogens that we have that they test for. Some of them, like Giardia, you can test for it 10 times and find it in the 10th test. So how accurate is the results of the testing? Because if we don't take it to 10 tests, do we know we do have it or don't have it? They do have drugs that they give for these microscopic parasites, but most of the time they don't get rid of it. They are able to push it back enough that your body then can defend itself. But then under stress, we see that it raises its head again. And what I have to say about it as far as cleansing is concerned is nobody is responsible for cleaning your house unless you hire it done. But you need to clean up around yourself. You need to keep your body clean. Well, you know what? It's our responsibility to keep the inside of our body clean. And right now in history, we are surrounded by a lot of chemicals and a lot of pathogens. And because there's so many people and because we travel, these pathogens in your area, your immune system, and Barb, if you're on the phone, I'd like you to talk about this because it's so important. Your immune system it understands these pathogens and creates an environment that they can't multiply in. But when you travel and you get them from out of the area, then your body can't do it. And I got Giardia in Montana. And when I looked at it, the water department told me 40% of all the wells in Montana have Giardia. And I said, why isn't everybody sick? And they said to me, because your body has learned to deal with this. And I said, it's the same pathogen that when you go to Mexico and you get sick, right? And they said, what's a different strain of it? And your body doesn't recognize it and can't defend itself against it. And I went, oh, okay. So how do these pathogens get in us? Do we travel to get in them? Guess what? Our food comes from different areas, and we travel. And so we get it. You can get it from water. Okay. You can get it from animals. You can get it from each other. So what is our defense? We need to find a defense, and we need to learn to manage it. So, of course, the question my clients say is, okay, so how much do I have to take? Okay, how long do I have to take that much? And then what is the maintenance of this? And Doug helped me with that, because I didn't know what the maintenance would be. But after taking several bottles, he says 1 ounce a day, or 1 bottle a month could be the maintenance dose. And then I would like to add to that and say, because we don't know the life cycles of these, then in 6 months, I would try it again. I would take more in 6 months. I would put myself through another cleanse. I do it a couple times in a row, even especially if you have something so tough and it is really making your health a struggle. But so in process of cleansing, what I want to end up is this. So my clients don't have a lot of side effects, because I have them, they know that they can come in and they can have a colonic and I can flush it out, because the body purges through many ways, through your breath, through your sweat, through your bowels. And if you are killing a pathogen and you have residue from that, the body tries to get it out, takes it out through your skin. And my clients, because they understand this, they all come in for a colonic, and that's where we see this stuff. And so the side effects are minimal. Now, I don't know about people not doing colonics. I don't know if the side effects would be minimal. I just had someone call me this morning, and I have to go in for a colonic this afternoon because she got a rash. The skin is elimination organ. And so we give her a colonic, and then immediately it'll be better. So we have to be responsible for our colon needs to be open for elimination. And so the side effects seem to be very rare and seems to be not, you can deal with it. But colonics do help. I would advise you to go to your health professional, your alternative healthcare health professional, and say, hey, I want to do this, and I want you to be aware of it, and we'll just talk about what happens here. Because there are some products that I've heard that you can take that help mitigate side effects. And I know enzymes are one. And also our immunity is incredible for that. Any kind of allergy response to anything, these immunity is incredible for. And also the cell defender is a binder. I tell people and to take 10 drops before you drink a bottle and 10 drops after. And know that this is a binder for all kinds of toxicity. And our fiber is good to help carry it out, but make sure your colon's open when you start the fiber. And if your colon slows down, you should slow down on the process, get your colon cleaned out, and then you can start up again. I guess I'll just end with that. Make sure you're open, make sure you're eliminating, and good fortune to everybody out there.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions here. Alicia, she's just asking about kids. And I think, oh my goodness, kids and pets, we all deworm our pets. We just know animals get them. We're animals too. Kids, they interact a lot. And any thoughts on how much you would give a kid? It'd probably be proportionally less, but I love what we're having here, because the amount of silver itself is so infinitesimal, and it just freely goes through the body and leaves. So you really can't hurt yourself with this. And
I've
And
had
showing that
experience,
bad stuff doesn't like this stuff. I love that.
Dave. I have had experience with my own grandkids, and it started with one of my grandkids who was 12 months old. And I was taking care of her, and she was getting 5 teeth, and she was so fussy. And when she was crying, I looked in her mouth, and it was full of thrush. And I thought, oh, when her mother gets here, she's going to take her to the doctor. She'll be on antibiotics for 2 weeks. I took the silver and I sprayed it in her mouth, gave her Cell Defender 2 every 15 minutes. And after 2 hours, it was completely gone. And she wasn't crying anymore. Her fever was gone. And I thought, boy, that's a real visible example of the power here. And so I know many children that are taking it. And one of the things I like about it is that my grandson started to fall at 13, and he got acne solid on his cheeks. And it wasn't good. Acne, just solid. And he used the gel, the silver gel. In 1 week, it was completely gone. Now, we had used the spray on it and it helped a little, but the silver gel for this particular thing just took it away in a week. And it's safe for us, and it's safe for children too.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deidre. Thanks for coming on, and what insight. Also, I'm just thrilled to have Neil Roth on our call with us. And oh my goodness, the good ship Avini Health. This is the captain of our ship. You could not find a just more better CEO for a company than Neil. Thrilled. It's just so amazing. We got this little company, nobody knows about us, and yet all of the right people have come together, and we've just got some magical things happening. I believe will change the world. But Neil, can you tell us your thoughts and feelings about why you're here and why you're driving this wonderful, what's happening?
A lot of exciting things obviously are happening. I just wanted to, respond to what Deidre was talking about. First of all, Deidre and I have a running conversation on the messaging, and I actually had to ask her to stop sending me pictures at 5:30 in the morning. Because I get up at 5:30 every morning, I'd have a picture of Deidre, so I asked her to wait at least a couple hours, so I had my coffee first. But yeah, no, it's amazing. When we got this new nano silver, we spent a lot of time investigating probably every company in the United States to try to come up with the right product for ourselves. We did a lot of research and we learned a lot about each of the products. A couple of things about this product that make it unique, as you said, was the size, and you didn't talk about the spherical nature. That is really important also. But more importantly, is one of the things that we liked about it was that this company had done studies and tests to prove that it leaves your body within 24 to 26 hours. And that's important because, as you said, if you keep silver in your body too long, you turn blue. And unless you're a part of the Blue Man Group, that probably doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's just that's not something you want to walk around being is blue in any situation. We have found through all the testing we did on a regular maintenance basis, and I'm not talking about what Deidre is talking about, which is not a regular situation. If you take 3 to 4 to 5 sprays 3-4 times a day, over a month, you're going to get enough of it in your system to continue to keep your body, healthy from the living things in your body that are bad. If you have specific problems, you need to go to somebody like Deidre who will help you work through it. This is not something you want to try to do on your own or without talking to somebody, because there are always side effects and you don't know what the side effects are going to be when you start taking something like that. But we're really happy with what Deidre's done. It's been amazing that the results she's having with people, and it's exciting. And that sort of leads into what you were asking. Why are we in this company? Why did we start this company? We started the company because of the products. Okay. We didn't have the nano silver. We were looking at it. We had one, but it wasn't what we wanted. But the Cell Defender, if you do nothing, and I'm not suggesting this, but if you do nothing but take Cell Defender, you're going to be 99% more healthy than you'll ever were in your life, because a healthy body fixes itself. And as we talk about, it's the tip of the spear. And as we've gotten more into it, Rick and I have spent a lot of time saying, what do we need to put together that is going to be preventative healthcare in nature for people, so they don't have to have phone calls from their doctors saying, by the way, you need to come in and go see X doctor, because you don't want to see that doctor. Trust me, Dave, you went to see that doctor. It's not a fun deal. Okay. So some of the extensions we did, this immunity was a beautiful extension. And the fact that we have it, you can go get mushrooms, but you can't get these kind of extracts that are put together the way we have it put together, combined with the Cell Defender that activates it and makes it work more efficiently in your body. The results have been incredible. As Deidre said, you have allergies, it helps, but what's been amazing to me and Rick, and we're still trying to figure out why, just so you understand, we don't have a really good explanation, is how it affects people who have anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. It's truly been amazing, and this is a problem in the world right now. Children are, for some reason, are having high anxiety moments, depression moments. Kids that have absolutely no reason to have that. So we're seeing results on that. And then we go to the fiber, which is probably of all the other products besides Cell Defender, the most important product you could take, because it does help clean out your gut, but it also has the fibers that your body needs to be successful. And there are certain fibers that your body needs in order to perform. You're not going to get it. What does Rick say? You got to eat 15 heads of lettuce and 10 bunches of bananas and God knows what else. And I'm already full thinking about that. I have been on the fiber since 1996, or a version of the fiber. And I really believe that's a lot of what's kept me healthy over the years. Obviously, when the Cell Defender came out in its original form, I've been on that since about 2004, give or take. So when I look at my health, which, knock on wood, is in pretty good shape, I attribute it to those two products. I really do attribute it to those two products. We strongly recommend that. Then we started saying, okay, what are people having situations with? So we came out with Plus Cardio Care. Heart attacks are the number one reason people want to be in this business, die. And unfortunately, 33% of people who have a heart problem die. They don't get a second chance to fix it. It is a preventative healthcare situation. You need to take something before you get sick, because you're going to die 1/3 of the time. It's not like you're going to get it fixed afterwards. Okay. Mind and vision. We see what's going on in the world. Most of us are having the vision problems, or the results of taking this product, getting our eyes better. But problems with the mind right now are serious. The dementia, other kinds of situations that are occurring with people. Rick has put together a couple of products there are a couple of items in those products that you're not going to find anywhere else. A lot of the other ones you will find anywhere else, but not in the efficacious amount that you need to be successful that the studies were done on. And not in this combination. You'd have to go take, 3 or 4 different bottles of products to get some of what the mind and vision has, not even all of it. But when you take a look at the Plus Cardio Care, we have products like Breviscapine. It's hard to get, extremely expensive, and extremely effective in helping people. So we have that. It's also in our Trim Science. I don't know if you realize that Breviscapine is in there too. As we move through it, we're not going to continue to expand to an incredible number of products, because you have to be focused. But you take that, you take the pain, and as you notice, we're taking different formats of the same products. Like this month, we came out with the Nano Silver gel and the Plus Relief gel in the little packets. Amazing little deal. Number one, like I'm on a trip. It's a heck of a lot easier than getting stopped at my 4 hour. There you go. Yeah. And talk about sampling. Look, people in our country, we're very instant gratification oriented. I don't know if you've noticed that along the way. You talking to somebody who has a cut or a scrape or a little rash, and you say, hey, put some of this on there. And a few minutes later, you could already see it improving. Or you have a pain in your arm and you say, hey, put this on, and then keep talking. And in 20 minutes, you go, how's your pain? And he goes like, what pain? All right. It's a great way to introduce our products to people. Because it doesn't matter how people come into our business, whether it was with the Trim Science coffee, or the Nano Silver, or the Plus Relief, or the Cell Defender. Eventually, they're going to hear our conversations, and they're going to know about all our products. And what that leads to is a better life. And for those of us who are interested, that better life includes a better financial life. The ability to change your life financially is as important as changing your life from a health standpoint. It's really important that people understand that one of the major causes of disease in our bodies is the stress that we get from financial difficulties. That's not something I'm making up. Go read about it. It's everywhere you want to read about it. Stress is horrible on the body, creates inflammation, creates problems in your body. We don't have a solution that necessarily is going to be for everybody, but we have a solution that's going to help people who want to get an extra $300 a month so that they can pay their car bill and not have to stress, or they want to change their life and they want to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom or dad, like people like Thane and other people. I know I did that. That's why I got involved in network marketing when I started back in the 90s. Claire and I had 5 kids at home. Okay. I wanted to stay home with the kids. I put my effort into it, just like I did with my first career, to become successful in that and recreate an income that allowed me to to take my kids to school every day, to be their basketball coach, to be their soccer coach, to do whatever it takes. I used to have a class for all my kids. Algebra is a horrible thing in school. I guess they teach it much differently than when we learned it. I had a class every day in algebra for years at my house after school for a bunch of kids. And that's what you want to do with your life. What do you want to do with your life? Okay. That's what you have to decide. But we're excited we've been able to put this together. Truthfully, when we started this thing, we thought, oh, we'll sell a little bit, sell some product, and we'll have these products out to people, and then things happen. People actually realize how well these products are. Do you realize that this business is no different than owning a bunch of drugstores? Somebody says, what's it like? I said, I have 11,000 drugstores. Okay, that's what instead of the 2,200 I used to have when I ran the industry.
How many hours did you work a week?
I used to work about 90 hours a week. I'm not exaggerating. And the reason why I got out of it is because at the end of it, I had high blood pressure. I was on stroke watch. I had ulcers and I weighed 50 pounds more than I weigh now because I didn't have a chance to exercise. When you ask about what's like being an executive of a company or running a big company, it's nothing but stress and disease. Trust me. But to each his own. There's a lot of people who survive on that. I did for 25 years and then realized there's a better way, and I took it. But going forward, this thing has unlimited potential. The products we have, there's a lot of great companies out there, but there aren't a lot of great network marketing companies out there with the kind of products that we have. I talk to people all the time in the industry, and they're talking hype, they're talking money, they're talking this. They're not talking about their products. There are a few who are. I'm not going to say there aren't. We can talk about our products. We have an underlying factor to a business that allows you to be successful because the one thing you don't have to worry about is do the products work? They work. They're not. There's no testing needed to decide that anymore. And as we move forward, those of you who are coming to Boca, you're going to see a factory that's state of the art. Okay, we've continued to upgrade it. Guys, if you tomorrow doubled our business, we wouldn't even feel it. That's how much inventory we keep on hand. We make sure we have what you need so that you don't run out of stock. We have built machines that will we could probably increase our business 5 times and still be working on one shift. And the reason I'm telling you is to understand you are in a business that has an incredible solid base, not only in products, but in infrastructure. We're vertical. We make everything ourselves. Your quality is assured because it's tested so many times. Okay. The ability to make it is there so you can get as much as you need when you need it. We're continuing to upgrade the way we ship. You're going to see some changes in our shipping that's going to improve your shipping a lot better, including Canada. We're working on that also. There's many things that we're not satisfied that we're the best yet. We're going to be the best, but we're going to get there, and we're going to get there with your help and with your success. Thanks for taking the time. I really wasn't planning to come on this morning, and I realized that I had some time, and Dave was nice enough to say, come on and talk about it, because I want you to understand the passion that's behind this business. It's not about the money. It's about the passion behind the business and seeing the success that you guys have. Rick and I revel in it.
Neil, you've recruited me all over again. Sponsor me again. But I love what you're talking about. And I think all of us have heard being at the right place at the right time, also recognizing it. And I recognize that in 1990, I was at the right place at the right time, and I acted on it. And it was so fun to just be with people, building a team, and everybody's winning and miracles are happening. And it can be extra frustrating when that goes away. And I'm just so thankful that I've got a chance to do it again. And so I tell people I turned 74 last May, and I'm having a midlife crisis, starting all over again with my encore career. So great.
I know that feeling. I had to wait till I was 70 to start up a new company.
Thank you. And just being anxiously engaged in a good cause. That's one of the best things as far as anti-aging medicine and talking about health. That's the business you want to be in. There's just this awakening right now. And I just believe people are looking for answers right now. And we've got the answers. The timing's right. The market's immeasurable. And I've been it's interesting, using this for 6 years. This is the fourth label, and so I'm so thankful that we have Avini. Now we have ownership. This is the best label and the last label. I was introduced to this by my longtime friend, Chip Littlejohn. And Chip, we reconnected 6 years ago. Thanks for saving my life. But Chip, maybe you could wind it up today. What's your thoughts? Are you excited?
It's a wonderful situation that we're all in, and it is shareable. A expanding model is something really important. Simple, you can join and I can ask you to join, or I can join and I can ask you to join. So then you have an expanding model, and then you come with Neil's perspective and the viewpoint that he has coming from the retail drug side and also being strongly involved in this industry and a student of it. And he can look and see how we're doing compared to others, where we're going. I loved everything he said, gave me another half hour of things that I'd like to talk about, but efficacy, safety, and exclusivity, all these things you're hearing about, we have some sort of an angle on it that's unique compared to everybody else. And the market is enormous. It's nearly a universal marketplace. Everybody is polluted and hurt because of it. Deirdre gave some great examples of how we get hurt and the things that move in. Someone approached me about silver the other day and had a big study, and it said it kills the immune system, all the immune cells, and it kills your microbiome. Yes, it does, unless you have the right silver. So just a real quick little, what you just heard, colloidal's too big, it gets stuck. Ionic is too deadly, it kills the good cells and the good beneficial bacteria. The product that Avini has is the right size, shape, charge, vibration, resonance, stability, mobility. All those things have to have attention in every one of our products. They have to come in and work and move out and be safe. Remember, Avini is Rick Deitz's lifetime of answers to this question. How could we help you to help you instead of risking something or hurting you to help you? And that's essentially what Avini is.
Good point. I love researching and looking at stuff, like all of us health enthusiasts in Avini. And one of the things that just stuck in my mind was a study where this lab ordered, I think it was 14 different, quote, nano silvers from Amazon, brought them in, took them to the lab. Most of them were ionic. There was no nanoparticles. It was just all ions, which again, studies indicate that sweet spot of 7 nanometers, that what we have is not shelf stable, and we learned that ourselves. Doug Dickey, one of the most passionate people, I've known him for around 30 years, and years ago he kept bringing nano silver to me, and it was wonderful. And unless you left it around very long, and it wouldn't be good any longer. And so
I love that little deal with the black and white photography. That when black and white photography is silver oxide. And once you expose that piece of paper and put a picture on it, it's stable. It's not going to take another picture like your cell phone does. You can't erase one and put the other in. And that's the same basic idea. It's exposing the outside of those little nano silver balls, 200 atoms, 7 to 10 nanometers across, and then you have one layer of something that's stable, which is the silver oxide tetrahedrons. Works a lot like a black and white picture used to. Same kind of an idea. I think everybody can remember and understand that. And so we're able to take that from that world, bring it to this world, and all of a sudden there's not a danger that your silver is going to get too big and become colloidal and get stuck in you, get too small and become ionic and be too deadly. Instead, it's going to be stable at the Avini Nano Silver Goldilocks size, shape, charge, mobility, efficacy, vibration, and resonance. All those things have to be held in the perfect area. And then to have exclusive rights to that. Everything you get from Avini is unique and exclusive. People attempt to imitate it. Brand X They're attempting to imitate something they do not understand.
Good point. We're the Goldilocks company. Everything is just right. Love it. And Zig Ziglar, he talks about nutrients and things. And one important nutrient is money. And Zig says money's not the most important thing, but it's right up there next to oxygen. And yeah, this is good stuff. Oh my goodness. Let's go for it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And let's share the good word of Avini.
Thank you for joining the Magnetic Leadership Podcast with Dave Johnson. Take charge of your health and detoxify today with Avini Premium products.